Welcome back, everybody. So, Shazam movie review. So, here we go. Shazam is directed by David Sandberg. It has a cast that consists of Zachary Levin, or Levy, whatever his name, Asher Angel, Mark Strong, Jack Dylan Grazer, plus many, many others. In this Shazam movie, we follow a 14-year-old kid that goes by the name of Billy Batson, who basically is blessed or with a little bit of magic, given some superpowers to then try and protect the Earth from a kind of rising kind of threat. In this movie, we also get to see the struggle of this kid adjusting to this responsibility of being a superhero and learning his powers at the same time. With this responsibility, you can see tensions growing, and you can see how much this kid has got to grow up in such a short space of time. Now, in essence, this movie I went into, and I know I'm really late watching this movie, knowing it came out probably near the beginning of last year, or probably April, May last year. I finally watched this today, and I got to be honest with you, I was quite entertained by this movie. It is actually a very decent DC movie as well. I have to be honest with you. I like the way that this was done. I like the way they set this up. It's not over action orientated as such, because there are other little subplot lines going on in this movie as well, which are nice touches, which I'm going to get into in a moment. But as a whole, as a general, it is a very entertaining movie, and I was entertained. This movie is what over 2 hours long, just over 2 hours long. I wasn't bored in any way, shape, or form. It is just entertaining. There are some very good comedic moments in here, and there are some very, very serious moments in here, which are, you know, which they cover really, really well. I have to be honest with you. I just generally thought it was a very, very good, entertaining, enjoyable watch. What I enjoy about this movie the most is literally the performances in here. So, if you don't, I mean, I'm a DC fan. I am a DC fan, but I don't know all the characters in the DC universe. And Shazam and this one is a character. Yes, I do know of this character, but you don't get a huge backstory of this character. And the greatest thing about this movie is that we do get a backstory to Billy Batten's past, or you get a very good, strong backstory to him. And to be fair, they spend the first 40 minutes, half an hour, 40 minutes, just exploring that kind of side of it, which is a really, really nice touch. So, for anybody that doesn't know this universe in any way, shape, or form, in this movie, they do actually explain it for you. They do actually show you what's going on. You get a backstory to his character. It's very, very good. And this is the one good thing that DC actually kind of do in their movies, especially their standalone movies, is they do give you a deep, in-depth kind of insight to the main character's backstory. And in this one, yes, he lost his mum when he was very, very young. He became a foster child. He then spends most of his teens by the setup of this movie trying to look for his mum. And I just think it's really, really good. The only downside of that, which I knew it would come back at some point, is his search for his mum obviously changes, because obviously the introduction of him becoming Shazam, and it goes and doesn't that storyline doesn't really come back until about say just over halfway, or maybe an hour 20 minutes into this movie, and it's a very much a letdown because however much you're wanting a happy ending to this story, there isn't any. And it's just like, okay, he finds his mum and just goes, "Oh, I'm your son," and she goes, "It's not a good time," and that was it. And it's brutal as well at the same time. But I know what they were trying to do here it's just that it just felt very anticlimactic, and it almost to that point where I just wanted that happy ending, his mum to take him back, and you never really got to see that, which is probably the only problem I've got with this movie. That being said, I know what they were trying to do. It's just I think me personally, I just wanted him to have a happy ending of him finding his mum and then being reunited with his mum and trying to rebuild that relationship. That being said, what everything else that goes on in the movie, there is still a happy ending here. It's just that he starts a new life with a different family. It's a really, really good touch. It's a very, very good backstory to his character, and they do spend the time of giving you the backstory to his character, which is a very, very good thing, especially for anybody that doesn't really know his character as well. The performances in here are absolutely fantastic in this movie. I have to be honest with you, Zachary Levin. as Shazam as well. It's absolutely fantastic. Seeing a grown adult trying to act like a 14-year-old kid is just absolutely fantastic. There were some embarrassing moments in here where I was just going, oh my god, that's quite embarrassing. But it worked really, really well. It added to the entertainment. But the greatest thing about this movie is a 14-year-old kid who gets given these magical powers to use them to protect Earth, and you get to see that great, his how he has to grow up so fast in this movie, and you also get to see because he's given these powers as a kid, you can also see, especially his best friend in this movie, his his jealousy that he has these powers, and he does abuse these powers, which is basically, I like what they were trying to do here. If you give too much power to somebody, it can sometimes take control. And if you give too much power to a kid, or mainly superpowers to a child, with not knowing the consequences of what these superpowers can do and what they're actually meant for, you can just, it's extremely well done. I have to admit, it's that kind of misuse of power, because there is that kind of adolescent going, yeah, I'm a superhero kind of thing, and I get what they were doing here, and it worked really, really well. And you can see jealousy, naivety with other kids or his mate, and it just, it's that kind of maturing up, because he knows that, you know, what he has been given is a big responsibility towards the end, and I generally like how they did this. And, how fast he has to grow up to protect the people that he loves at that time, and I absolutely really really enjoyed it. I really really did. I enjoyed all the aspects of this movie, but just the performances with this, the way they set this out, the storyline is not complicated and it is quite predictable. I have to be honest, there it is very very predictable. You can see certain things coming before they're actually there. That being said, it's not enough for me to dislike this movie in any way shape or form, because I did actually genuinely like it very much. It's very very entertaining. I do recommend this movie as well. I just like what they did here. I mean, the action sequences in this are not overdone as well. They're not, there is CGI in this movie, but there's not so much CGI you're struggling to figure out what's going on. Yes, the CGI, but there's not enough of it for you to be like, I don't know really what's going on here. It's at a pace where you can follow it and understand exactly what's going on. With the comedic moments, knowing that this essentially it's a child in a grown up body, I just love it. I do. I absolutely love it. It's really really enjoyable. I do know kind of the Shazam kind of background, but it is an enjoyable movie to me. Simply because of the performances, the comedic moments in here are actually very well done as well. I don't find them all funny. I have to be honest with you, but there is some very, very good moments in here as well. Action sequences, like I said, are not hard to follow. There is CGI in this that had to be, but it's not overdone where you're struggling to follow it. It's just a very well put together. You get a pretty damn good backstory to the character or characters in this movie as well, which I really really enjoy. And that is even comes to the main bad guy, played by Mark Strong, who is an absolutely fantastic villain in any movie he plays in. I generally liked his character in this as well. He is a great bad guy. I admit his villainous kind of ways have to be toned down because this is more of a kids movie, but I've seen him in other movies as a bad guy and he's absolutely fantastic, and he doesn't disappoint in this one. He's just one of those British actors that can just play a very very good villain in whatever he does, and I generally like his acting style as well. Absolutely fantastic. Like I said, I'm not going to give too much away of the storyline just in case you haven't seen it, but I'm pretty sure most people have seen this by now. But like I said, the villain in this is absolutely fantastic, as in Mark Strong. Uh, just the backstory, everything that comes with this, I just think that there's been time and there's been effort put into this movie, which made it a very entertaining watch for me. So, if I was to rate this, I am gonna give this a 9 out of 10. I would give it a 10 out of 10, but the storyline is a little bit predictable, I have to be honest with you. Do you know what? I'm going to upgrade it. It's a 10 out of 10 for me. It is an enjoyable watch. You get a good backstory. Like I said already, the action sequences are not hard to follow. It is entertaining watch. I wasn't bored in any way, shape, or form. I liked all of this movie, to be fair. I really, really did from start to finish. And I went into this quite skeptical. I was like, okay, it's a DC movie. I don't know really what to expect. I do know I know of Shazam. I don't really know his backstory. You get that in this movie. Like I said, it's entertaining just to see a grown-up person acting like a 14-year-old. It's just really, really, it's good. It's just an entertaining watch for me. So, on that note, please tell me what you think. Put it in the comments down below as normal. I hope you all have a great rest of the day, whatever you're doing. Please take care and goodbye.